Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I bloody love Satan.
And don't forget, if you want to listen to the news as a podcast, if you are out and about, you can do so by searching for WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. But coming up today, Seth Rollins' gaggle of bastards has got a new member.
And I'm going to tell you about the gaggle of goobers who've been confirmed for the Royal Rumble.
Could Corey Graves have got himself fired on Twitter last night?
I've got the real reason WWE have never signed Tessa B.
This is the news.
But we are going to kick things off with a little bit of discussion on a man who we're going to talk about a lot on this video, I think. Rusev. Rusev, Day, Bulgarian brute man, doesn't like Bobby Lashley.
Machka.
Divorced from Lana. That guy. Rusev. Rusev's WWE future, a topic we talk about all the goddamn time. But today it's super justified because the man himself has dropped the biggest hint on his wrestling future so far. So, as pointed out by some eagle-eyed social media users last night, Rusev has changed his Twitter bio to read the following: soon-to-be free agent. Further continuing the speculation that maybe, probably not, but maybe he's thinking about leaving WWE. Now, this goes hand in hand, kind of, with recent reports that re-signing Rusev is considered a top priority from WWE. But it's Rusev. He does stuff like this quite often. And recently his wife, Lana, who is still his real-life wife.
What?
Storylines aren't real. Santa's not real either. Take that, the kids. Lana recently signed a new 5-year deal back in November. So she's here for the foreseeable future, but as for Big Ruru...
Yeah, I think I'm officially bored of the Rusev Bobby Lashley storyline after last night as well.
Oh, mate.
I was just like, I can't be arsed with this anymore.
The problem with it is, there's too much wrestling in it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick to the pantomime. Stick to the soap opera. I want that.
This is very Rusev, isn't it? To be
It
like,
is.
bye everyone, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
you know.
come on. I don't think it's going to happen. As much as, we have seen people, I mean, John Moxley is the perfect example, whose other halves are still working in WWE and they've gone to work elsewhere. I just sense that this is either a bit of banter from Rusev or maybe just a way of leaning on WWE a little bit more to try and get a little bit more moolah out of them.
Yeah, it's definitely part of a leverage thing. It's also probably just done that so that pricks like us will come on and make YouTube videos about it and stuff.
You're welcome, buddy.
But, you never know. The ongoing saga has been critically divided, the response to it, I think it's fair to say. Some people think it's very entertaining. Some people think it's a big bag of bollocks. So it's kind of hard to tell what Rusev himself thinks of that. But, the guy at the moment is really quite over as a result of it. And if he does get a new deal, WWE are obviously going to make an offer. I'm sure it'll be a big one. So...
He may well be on his way out, but yeah, probably not, let's be honest. Right, let's move on and talk a little bit more about last night's Monday Night Raw and skipping over the fact that the graphic for the Royal Rumble match, a Royal Rumble that has been reported is going to have 10 superstars from Raw, 10 superstars from SmackDown, 10 superstars from NXT, has 11 Raw superstars on it right now. Skipping over that, next week it has been confirmed we are getting a US title ladder match between Andrade and Rey Mysterio, which I cannot wait for. Also, last night saw Buddy Murphy join Seth Rollins and the AOP in that weird, nasty stable of theirs. This was all part of this was subsequent to Buddy Murphy yet again failing to defeat Aleister Black in, yet again another brilliant match, to be perfectly honest. He was devastated. He just sort of sat there at ringside whilst Rowan got his hand bitten, I think, by whatever's in that cage or something.
Something weird going on there, man.
Anyway, he's still there for the main event, the fist fight, which also saw Kevin Owens run up and flip off the stage, which is spectacular. As Adam Nicholas pointed out to me, Ricochet is going to be kicking himself. He hasn't thought of that one yet. But unfortunately, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and Big Show lost the fist fight because Buddy Murphy decided to help Seth Rollins to get involved, low-blowed Big Show, and eventually they laid all three of the big lads out to be crowned the winners of the first ever fist fight. What do you reckon to Buddy Murphy joining Seth and AOP?
Great. Yeah, it's about time we saw Buddy sink his teeth into something more than just a simple in-ring rivalry, and that's no shade on the Aleister Black feud, which has been tremendous, another really good match last night. But I want to see some, other types of storylines for Buddy, who's been on the main roster for a while now, and he's had a bunch of great matches, but not really been in any particularly highly featured programs. So, very happy for him. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. And I actually think this is a lot more interesting than taking some random person we see in upper mid-card storylines a lot.
Yes.
Say like a Randy Orton, and I'm aware I throw shade at Randy Orton quite a lot. But like a name like that, it's like we've seen these guys in those spotlights before. They're permanently in them. This is elevating a guy, picking a guy up from the undercard, bringing him up to join Seth the Chef in that devious gaggle of bastards, as you so wonderfully put it in the intro. And I'm fired up. I'm also fired up for this goddamn ladder match. Although Rey Mysterio, oh brother, you've got a lot of miles on that clock. Please be safe.
Be careful,
yeah. But it's going to rule. Like, all those matches rule. How could it not rule?
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Brock Lesnar is going to show up again next week. 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's good, I guess. Maybe we're going to have some kind of other Brock party. This week we got the R2 thing, which was loads of fun.
Great. I really hope Paul Heyman announces himself in the Rumble.
Speaking of Paul Heyman being in the Royal Rumble, we got some new additions last night. And probably the most memorable of them all is a guy who isn't even in the Royal Rumble. R-Truth was like, I'm declaring myself, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. And then he figured out that it was Brock Lesnar, not Paul Heyman, who's in the Rumble. And he said, no, I'm not wrestling you. Brock Lesnar kicked his ass. R-Truth not in the Rumble. However, these 5 new names certainly are. On the women's side, we've got Sarah Logan. Still only 4 names confirmed for that women's match. It's very, very thin, like my hairline at the moment. And on the men's side, we have 2 sets of feud partners. Bobby Lashley and Rusev, both confirmed. Aleister Black and Big Bloody Buddy Murphy, both confirmed as well. I mean, all of these are pretty much no-brainers, right? The men's side, because they're 4 featured wrestlers, and the women's side, because Sarah Logan's featured at the moment as well in the program with Charlotte, and also, they just don't have as many wrestlers, so they're going to put every active person in that match.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit earlier about the 10-10-10 rule that we had been heard from WWE. I don't think they're going to put 10 NXT stars in there, to be honest. I think there will be several NXT stars, especially in the men's. I think there'll probably be more female NXT stars in the female one.
Yeah.
But for the men's one, I sense it'll be a mixture of sort of maybe 10 from Raw or 11 from Raw, 9 or so from SmackDown, maybe sort of 6 or 7 from NXT, and then 3 legends.
Goldberg, Edge, CM Punk, Sergeant Slaughter,
John Cena,
Pat Patterson. Yeah, get them all in. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I like the fact that they've told us about certain people going to be in it, because then you're sort of tempering expectations across the board. But it's looking good so far. I'm just really glad they haven't given away who's in the number 30 spot again this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was crap last year.
Hey, they've still got a week.
Right, let's move on and talk about Corey Graves, arguably, potentially for the last time. He got himself in a lot of trouble on Twitter last night, posting 2 very critical tweets of Monday Night Raw. During the Bobby Lashley versus Rusev match, he tweeted, "No one cares, #Raw, #after the bell." Apparently Michael Sidgwick hacked his account there. And after the fist fight main event...
Which was ace.
It was just a bit of fun. As I said, we have Kevin Owens leaping off the stage. It was no rules, just let's have a banging 10 minutes. He tweeted, "Wow, F this, fire me, I'm already fired."
What's he doing? That's a reference as well to an old Ric Flair promo from Nitro. But like, Corey, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you up to here? I think...
Fire me. Also, by the way, don't forget to watch my After the Bell show.
Yeah, it's a nice little plug. I think an element of this is probably Corey knowing that he's quite a controversial personality and drumming up interest for After the Bell, having hashtagged it. But that's the boring answer. It's just, wrestling Twitter sucks, doesn't it? Between this, Seth Rollins, CM Punk the other week, just log off, guys, or be better at this. Be better.
Yes.
Corey Graves, stop being such a wipe. Just come on.
That's good put down.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he'll talk about this on After the Bell. Maybe it'll be interesting. Probably won't be, though, because Corey Graves is involved. Anyway, speaking of things that are actually interesting, Tessa Blanchard's name has been in the news constantly over the past few days. Her controversy, her winning the Impact World Championship over the weekend, has brought up a number of other stories to go with that. It's just when you're in the news cycle, other stuff's going to come up. And on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Big Daddy Dave Meltzer does a bit of discussion. He's talking about why WWE passed on Tessa Blanchard when they had the opportunity to sign her. Tessa was brought in for a number of NXT jobs in 2016. She was then in the Mae Young Classic. 2017, lost in the very first round. He says, basically, that WWE, when they brought Tessa in, they were thinking about offering her a contract, but they were like, "Oh no, we've heard all about your attitude issues, Miss Blanchard. We've heard them stories. and we've decided that the risk is not worth the reward. He also talks about Impact, who also knew about these issues. They'd heard the stories, but they ultimately decided that Tessa was a big enough talent to overcome those. And up until last weekend, it looked like they've been proved right. Maybe they will be proved right in the long term as well. However, we should also state, while we're talking about this story, that the issues between Tessa Blanchard and La Rosa Negra, who is the wrestler that Tessa supposedly racially abused and spat in the face of in Japan, apparently those issues have been buried. They've buried the beef. They've sorted the whole thing out. This is according to bodyslam.net. Who says there's been mutual apologies between the two. And also, La Rosa Negra, who's the Puerto Rican wrestler, issued a video just the other day saying that as far as she's concerned, the issue, which happened in 2017, it caught her by surprise that it came back up, but she has left it in the past. It's all over, so that's good. Two wrestlers moving forward. Hopefully, coming out of this, Blanchard learns, grows, evolves, and is able to put all this behind her as well.
Yeah, we sort of dealt with the issues of Tessa over the last few days. Glad to hear that the issues with La Rosa Negra has been resolved in the past, of course. It's sort of conflicting because WWE do have kind of a track record of hiring people regardless of their history or not even bothering to look into it. But I sense that maybe they've given a heads up by certain wrestlers about attitude problems. They didn't sign her. And I think you're exactly right. I think Impact Wrestling probably knew about them and went, it's probably worth it. And it turns out it has been. She's world champion now, of course. Yeah. And hopefully, now that this has all been brought to light and she's apologised and people want to move forward, everything can get better in the world of wrestling.
Yeah, Tessa's got to grow, but she's got to show that in public as well. I just hope that her winning the title gives Impact the niche it needs to move forward.
Exactly. And to you, Sammy Callahan.
Lol.
Let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us. Matt Ryan starts us off today talking about the Revolution pay-per-view for AEW, of course, saying, would the Revolution pay-per-view be the right time in seeing Moxley win the AEW belt from Jericho, and will it contribute in the potential hopeful working relationship of AEW and New Japan?
I don't think it's the right time from a storyline perspective. I love this heel champion, Chris Jericho, and I think that it hasn't really shown any signs of running out of steam yet. It means it's worth keeping it going for at least another pay-per-view. I think Jericho's got that in him. I think he should hold that belt for the best part of the year to really establish it. And I love Jon Moxley, and I think he could be an important go-between if there's going to be a relationship between AEW and New Japan. But nah, not for me, man. I want to see Kenny win it, having finally grown back into the best bout machine.
Yeah, you sense shenanigans aplenty at Revolution.
Hijinks.
But I am inclined to agree with you, as much as I think Moxley is incredibly hot right now, of course, and if you put the title on him, it wouldn't do anything bad to AEW. I just think you'd kind of destroy what is the hottest thing, or one of the biggest gimmicks in AEW right now in the Inner Circle, and of course, Le Champion. Right, let's move on to super awesome Lady Dinah. Dinah?
Dina.
Thank you for your tweet. Anyway, saying, has there ever been a promo that has changed your mind about a storyline or gimmick for the better? That's a tough one.
Yeah. Wow, okay. The cogs are turning. Yes, okay. For that, I probably have to go all the way back to my childhood. The right to censor. I used to hate those pricks. Yeah. That stupid Stevie Richards and his stupid tie ruining all the crazy characters. The Goodfather, Val Venus, Bull Buchanan, all these.
Squared.
Oh yeah, that's the one. All these legends of the game. But I got totally worked by it, and then I totally turned around on the program when they were trying to indoctrinate the Dudley Boys. And they came out and did the whole promo. They did the fake out. They came in the stupid suits with their sleeves cut off, and they did the whole, if putting people through tables is wrong, then I don't want to be right. And that thing, retrospectively sold me on the whole thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's an awesome little bait and switch as well. Like an awesome way to lure the crowd in and then go, actually, boom, Stevie Richards, you censor man, your tie.
I think the best thing I can think of, and this is, I should give thanks to Michael Hamfler for pointing this one out, is Drew McIntyre recently. We were all a bit like, yeah, it's Drew. I mean, he'll be in contention for the Royal Rumble, but he's not going to do it. And then he came out the other week, bantered everyone off, then did a countdown for the Claymore, and he's going to win the Royal Rumble / eliminate Brock Lesnar. Yeah. I love him. He's brilliant. But let us know in the comments. That's a really good question, that. Let us know a promo that's changed your mind about a storyline or gimmick for the better. Cholo gives us our final, Han Cholo, I should say.
Han Cholo,
gives us our final question of the day. What do you think is a good name for Rollins' new stable? I've mentioned it The gaggle of bastards. He says, I've got either money on either the Architects of Pain or the Salvation bouncing off the Messiah.
The Salvation is really good. I generally prefer that to like the compounded names, like the best kept secret architect of pain would be now that they've got Buddy in. Yeah, no, Salvation's really good. I'm totally here for that. I'm going to be really lazy and uncreative and say your suggestion is the best suggestion.
Good work.
Or, you know, Bastard Squad. Something with bastard in it would be cool, wouldn't it?
Gang of bastards, gaggle of bastards.
Bastard Brigade.
Bastard Brigade. Yeah. Uh-oh, here comes the Bastard Brigade. Woo woo! You use your siren again, Vince. You'll love that.
There you go.
Right, let's move on to today's and finally, and a shout out to Mrs. Walker or My Timmy McGee on Twitter, who's tweeted this. Great spot this, along with everyone else who sent me the thing about the 11 people from Monday Night Raw being in the Royal Rumble match already. Mrs. Walker says, I don't think I'm a stickler for details, but when it comes to WWE, but I did notice that the contract on the screen for Becky and Asuka, you know the thing they put up when they did the contract signing last night? Yeah, that was a contract for the 2015 Money in the Bank ladder match. You zoom in really tight there. So, I didn't notice that. Great spot, Mrs.
Really good
Walker.
spot.
Just evidence that despite the fact they have so many people working on this, they are as lazy as half of the people in our office.
Copy paste the pay-per-view name and change it.
Just like, you couldn't even find just a generic title thing.
I know, man. I know. This is crazy. I mean, credit for spotting that out. There's no way I'm noticing that watching Raw at 5 a.m. Still half asleep
double
on my
speed,
little
baby.
tablet. Yeah, you got a double speed or you're mental.
Yeah.
But yeah, good spot. Real good spot.
I like that. I want to send me more really obvious mistakes that WWE have made. I love seeing stuff like that. I'm one of those guys who loves those like movie mistakes. I'm like, hey, there's an extra in the background who shouldn't be there. That guy's wearing a Rolex on the
look, it's
title.
a boom mic.
Yeah, exactly, that sort of thing. Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, of course. And subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. For daily wrestling podcasts, myself and the Dudley Boys will be reviewing Monday Night Raw a little bit later on. And I think Michael Sidgwick actually liked it this week. He actually may have enjoyed it. The world is coming to an end. Let us know your thoughts as well and your Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there. Follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Howard Finkel.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. As I said, my thanks, Andy Murray. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
I miss the Fink, man.
I miss him too. Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture, here to let you know we want your live event videos, whether that be something that happened after the cameras stopped rolling, or your reaction to something amazing that went down at the show you were at. Stuff like this.
One of the other sweetest things I've ever seen was just recently when we saw Roman Reigns kick the shit out of cancer and come back on Monday Night Raw.
So make sure you send them to us in all the usual ways. You can tweet them at us, you can send them to us on Facebook, you can email them to us. Hell, if it's your sort of thing, you can stick them on a memory stick and post them to WhatCulture. But the one thing you need to remember is good, bad. Thanks for watching. Bye.